Right, we're live. Good evening. I'd like to call the Cayuga County Legislative Reorganization meeting to order. If you'd all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence for. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Amanda, we roll?
James Basile,
Here.
Andrew Dennison,
Present.
Lydia Patty Ruffini,
Here.
Christopher Petrus,
Here.
Aileen McNabb Coleman, present, Robert Shea,
Here.
Hans Petcher,
Here.
Mark Strong,
Here.
Heidi Nightingale,
Present.
Elaine Daly, here, Trisha Kerr, here, Christina Calarco, here, Michael Didio,
Here.
Brian Muldrow,
Here.
David Gould.
Here.
Thank you. I'd like to now call for nominations for the legislative chairperson, Jim Basile.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Dave Gould as our chair for the legislature. I think he did a good job last year getting us through the end of COVID and a budget where we had a 7% plus increase in inflation. And I think everything turned out generally the way we wanted to. Things were moving in the direction we wanted to do. He worked hard on the building fund. He worked hard on getting the ARPA stuff straightened out. He put the 4 best people in charge of it that he could. So that's I'm going to nominate Dave Gould to continue as our chairperson.
Can I have a second?
I would second it.
Are there any other nominations? Okay. Dave Gould, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Because technically we do.
Question. Should we technically vote?
I feel like we should. Can we get an all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Just, you know,
No, I like it. Thank you. Point.
You solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
that you will support the
Details.
Constitution of the United
It is.
States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that you will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of chairperson of the Cayuga County Legislature,
of chairperson of the Cayuga County Legislature.
according to the best of your ability.
That's my goal. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I'll say a few words later, just a few, but continue on right now. Where are we here? Adopting Ledge 1.
No,
We
vice
want
chair.
Vice Chair.
Vice Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed 2 of them. Okay, nomination for vice chairman of the Ledge. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I'd like to nominate the distinguished gentleman from Fairhaven, Mr. Steele.
Second. Is there any other nominations? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yes, thank you.
Please raise your right hand. I, James Steele,
I, James Basile,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that you will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
support the Constitution of the State of New York,
support the Constitution of the State of New York,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Legislative Vice Chair
the office of Legislative Vice Chair
according to the best of your ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Jim. Okay, let's go right to Ledge 1. May I have a motion for Ledge 1, adopting the Cayuga County Rules of Order? Motion,
Move it.
second,
Second it, Mark.
any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Okay. Majority leaders, minority leaders. We'll start off with the majority leader. Can I have a motion for the majority? Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to nominate Mike Didio for the position of Majority Leader. Mr. Didio is in his final term, and he's led us for the past few years. And I look forward to him providing positive leadership in our final year.
I'd like to second that, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All in favor of Mike?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Nomination for minority leader. Can I have a motion? Lady?
I'd like to nominate Aileen McNabb Coleman as minority leader.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, congratulations.
They can come up together.
Perfect, yes.
You want to go ahead or what?
As long as you raise your right hand, I've got it, right? Raise your right hand. Yep. I, and state your name. I, Aileen
Mike
McNabb
Didio.
Coleman, will support the Constitution of the United States
United States.
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
And the
Constitution of the State of New York,
and that you will faithfully discharge
faithfully
the duties of the office
Duties of the
duties of
office
the office,
of majority and minority leader.
of
majority and
Which one do you want to do? Majority and minority leader, to the best of your ability.
best of my ability.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Amy. Congratulations, Mike. Okay, we'll now do the swearing in of our newly elected DA. Where's Brittany? I know she's here. Brett, our first female DA in the.
Yeah.
Brittany Antonacci,
Support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York.
the Constitution of the State of New York,
You will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Cayuga County District Attorney
of Cayuga County District Attorney
to the best of your ability.
to the best of my ability.
Brett, did you want to say anything at all? It's up to you.
No, I'm just extremely proud and grateful and honored to be standing up here as district attorney, not only as the new DA, but as the first woman in this position. It's an absolute honor and privilege, and I really do look forward to making this a DA's office you'll be proud of, and working hard at that. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, swearing in a re-elected sheriff, Brian Skank. Brian?
Raise your right hand and state your name.
Brian Skank
Will support the Constitution of the United States
will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of the Cayuga County Sheriff
of the Cayuga County Sheriff
to the best of your ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Dee Dee, while he's signing that, would you like to say a few words? Sheriff, would you like to say a few words?
I would. I'd just like to thank everybody for your support, for your partnership It is a sincere honor for me to wear this badge every day and to carry these patches that I wear on my shoulder. The sheriff's office isn't my sheriff's office. The sheriff's office belongs to the public that I serve and that the men and the women of our sheriff's office serve. So it's an honor to represent you, the public, in this role. I do want to quickly thank all of you for your partnership throughout the years. I couldn't do this job without your support in the roles that you have here. I want to thank my family, especially Dee Dee and all of my family for supporting me. And I also want to introduce our new undersheriff, Stuart Painster, who joined us tonight. I have Stu as part of our team. He brings a lot of experience to us, having served many years as chief of the Seneca Falls Police Department. And I'm really excited for what the next 4 years have in store. So thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it.
And I have both known Stu for a long time. I think he's getting taller every time I see him. Congratulations, Stu. Congratulations, Brian. Swearing in re-elected coroner. I know that Adam's not here, but he already swore, he already signed the book.
I swore at him today.
Okay. I'm sure you did. Okay, right now the sheriff is going to do a short presentation on the emergency resolution for the domestic terror prevention plan. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of people put a lot of work into this. The sheriff and I can say Shireen and many others that are here. I can keep naming people, but they did an outstanding job of this. This is mandated by Albany and it had to be in by December 31st, and it was. So congratulations, Brian, to you and everybody else that worked on it. It was a hard job and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I did want to give a quick overview tonight. We did ask for an emergency resolution to be passed last week so that we could submit this report to Albany. As the chair said, this was a mandate that was issued in May of this year by the governor for every county municipality in New York State to develop a domestic terrorism prevention plan. When this mandate was issued, we immediately, a number of us in our community that would be stakeholders that would need to work on a plan such as this magnitude came together and started to put this plan together. We were able to secure some grant funding from the state to hire a consultant to help us with this. We did work with Tetra Tech to develop this plan. Tetra Tech has helped us with a number of emergency plans that have been developed here in the county. So we've got a good working relationship. So we utilized the grant funding to put this plan together. And we're also going to have some additional monies to implement some parts of the plan, some training, and cover some of the costs associated with it. The primary purpose of this plan is to identify, address, and mitigate the risk of targeted violence and/or domestic violent extremism in our community. And I can tell you that prior to this mandate coming out in May, I had reported to our Judicial and Public Safety Committee that we at the Sheriff's Office had been partnering with Cayuga County Mental Health and the Department of Social Services, along with all of our school districts in our community, to start working on some prevention plans when it comes to potential violence in our community. And we wanted to focus our initial efforts on the schools, doing some threat assessment, doing some management and mitigation, and working on these cases in a multidisciplinary way instead of everybody. Typically, we've always worked in silos and not partnered when we have concerning behavior in our community that could indicate somebody could potentially bring harm to our school district or community. So prior to working on this plan, Lauren Walsh with Cayuga County Mental Health and I had been working on developing a threat assessment and management team. We had started putting that together. So this was kind of an easy process for us to go through this, because the goal of this plan is to identify potential violent people that bring potential risk of violence to our community. And that's what Lauren and I and some others in our community were already working on. So I want to point out, as Mr. Chair said, that there were a number of individuals that helped develop this plan that came to the table with us as we worked on this. And I just want to acknowledge them. Some are in the room tonight. Certainly our Sheriff's Office, the Cayuga County Emergency Management Office was represented, Cayuga County Mental Health, Cayuga County Operations Officer Shreen participated with us, the Cayuga County Attorney's Office, the District Attorney worked with us on this plan, IT worked with us on this plan, our Cayuga County 911 Director was involved, And we had a liaison with our schools, Brian Hartwell with Cayuga Onondaga BOCES was part of this plan, putting this together. So all of those stakeholders came together with us to work on this. And we developed a number of goals that were put into this plan that we're going to be working on moving forward. I just want to give a quick high-level overview of what we're looking to accomplish. We're looking to expand upon our threat assessment and management team concept. So right now we're utilizing that concept to address threatening behavior in schools. We want to expand that beyond our school districts. We want to expand that out. Any threatening behavior. We want to take a proactive approach to identifying people that could bring harm to citizens in our community instead of a reactive approach and dealing with potential violence down the road. We're trying to identify threatening behavior, anything that someone might do that could be concerning. And then once we identify that, we're coming together as a team, mental health, the sheriff's office, other law enforcement agencies, the Department of Social Services, our schools, our district attorney, whoever we need to bring to the table to address that particular situation, to not only identify the threatening behavior, but to start to address it and work on solutions to keep that individual from committing an act of violence down the road. We've had some success. I'm very proud of what we've done so far, and I'm certain that we can expand upon that to prevent potential violent behavior in our community. Not only related to domestic violence, violent extremism, but just, somebody that could be just wanting to do targeted violence to a particular area within our community, whether it be an individual or maybe they want to target a group of individuals. We're also looking to educate the public about behaviors that we need to look out for to identify people that could potentially commit these type of acts. We're going to need the public support to identify people moving forward and making sure that if somebody sees something concerning, that they have the opportunity and ability to report that to us so that we can act upon that, because we need to stop this individual from acting upon something that they may be planning to do, something that their mental health may be taking them in a direction that will cause them to do something violent. We need to intervene as soon as we can. So that's going to take the community's help. It might be a family member, it might be a neighbor, it might be a fellow student in school or a teacher. We're going to need to work to educate the public and create a platform that will allow people to let us know when they're seeing concerning behavior like that. We need to establish and improve upon our intelligence gathering networks. In law enforcement, we work very closely with a lot of other law enforcement agencies. We work with our district attorney's office. We work with our 911 center. And we gather intelligence, we share intelligence, but we can always do better. We need to make sure that we're expanding our ability to share intelligence locally at the state level and nationally. If there's something that pops up somewhere else, anywhere else in the country that could potentially be a clue to something that could potentially happen here, we need to make sure that we have those networks in place to share that intelligence and be able to act upon it. Training, active shooter training. Our law enforcement agencies, we need to make sure that we're continuing to do active shooter training drills. I know this is a hard thing to think about, but when you look across the country and you see those headlines every day of a shooting situation and scenario that's taken place somewhere, in many cases, there's small communities such as ours that I'm certain that those communities had no idea that was going to happen there. We need to make sure we're doing everything we can to prevent that type of activity from occurring in our community. So we need to do the active shooter training to be prepared to address those incidents, but we also need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to prepare civilians to be prepared to react in an active shooter situation should God forbid that happen in our community. And finally, we need to work on target hardening. We need to make sure that our schools, that our municipal buildings, that any infrastructure that we have that could be potentially a location of threatening behavior, or could be a point that somebody tries to bring a terrorist act or an active shooting incident to, that we're hardening those places, that we're doing everything we can to make sure that we can prevent any violence from occurring there in advance. So that's kind of a quick overview of the plan and what we're looking to improve upon and the work that we're already doing. But I just want to make it very clear that I don't come up here and talk about this to scare everyone in our community, but I want to make sure that people understand we can't bury our heads in the sand and pretend that that couldn't happen here. It could happen anywhere. It could happen in Cayuga County, it could happen anywhere. And as we've seen the headlines, it has happened in places where you never would have thought something like that would happen. So I'm proud of the partnerships we've developed and the way that we're working together with the different agencies in our community to address these incidents. We're not working in silos anymore. Over the course of my career, I've seen a lot of cases where, the sheriff's office might do their thing to try to make sure a certain situation was dealt with. Mental health might do their own thing. School districts doing their own thing. Maybe a business or another location has something going on and they're doing their own thing. We can't operate that way anymore. We've got to partner. We've got to communicate. We've got to work in a multidisciplinary way to identify, address, and mitigate and manage these potential threats in our community. So I see a lot of opportunity here to make sure that we intervene in cases where somebody could be potentially violent down the road. It could be something as simple as somebody stalking an intimate partner or loved one. We can intervene maybe earlier down the road before something turns violent. So I see a lot of opportunity here. So that's the plan that we submitted with the emergency resolution. I know that this is going to be an ongoing process. I believe we're going to have to update this plan each year. But I'm very confident with the stakeholders we have at the table that won't be any problem to make sure that we're addressing these things the way that they need to be dealt with. So does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Again, I know I said it earlier, but I guarantee you there probably were 15 to 20 meetings with a bunch of people to get this thing accomplished, and they did on time, and I really appreciate that. Great job. Okay, let's go right to Leg 2, reappointing the clerk of the legislature and setting salary, majority vote.
Move it.
Second, Basile.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. I just want to congratulate you one more time, Sheila.
Where'd Sue go? Did she want me to sign the book?
So did she leave?
Oh, goody.
No.
Oh, you got to sign the book?
Yes.
Question,
Yes, Sam.
question for the county attorney. The pasture for you too.
Sorry.
There's no term to this. I thought it was always, she's there until we say she's not. So why do we do this every year?
I believe past resolutions have said that her appointment was for 1 year, and there's nothing that would prevent the legislature from putting a term on the office. However, state law says that the minimum you need to do is appoint the clerk of the legislature or the board of supervisors, and her term can run until her successor is appointed.
Thought that's what we did.
I don't,
That's why I'm asking.
Mr. Dennis, I wasn't here at the tail end of last year.
Do you think that's what we did last year? Because we keep doing this and it's like,
I thought we talked about it the very first meeting, but
I thought we talked about this for 7 years. For 8 years.
Chris, can you look that up?
Because we didn't just set a term there. We didn't just set a term there. We just said aye. So what's the term? I thought we looked it up and it said she's there until somebody
Successor,
tells her where the door is.
right, and
Oh, why are we doing this?
she is her own successor at this point. It sounds like she's already been nominated and has been voted on, so she would be her own successor, and since you've appointed her, she takes it off.
I think last year the resolution actually had a term listed in it.
Did it?
I
Okay.
think it did.
And that's why I thought we changed.
This year it doesn't.
This year, there's nothing on the resolution that says anything about a term.
And you have a certain salary. That's what we're guessing. Yes.
So it's at the pleasure of the legislature or? is
Yeah,
it the term?
according to this resolution, there's no term limit on this. So I think Andy's right.
Like her.
Yeah, is that okay, Mr. Behold?
Yeah. it's-
Okay, great.
that's required.
Okay, could be. Now you can get sworn in.
Congratulations.
I, and say your name,
Sheila Smith.
solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that you will faithfully discharge the
and
duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the legislature
of clerk of the legislature
according to the best of your ability.
according to the best of my
She's been
ability.
doing that for years. I must love your seat, Sheila.
Now, when you get mad, you can't say, I'm only here one more year. You're here forever until we replace you. Go ahead,
Thank
Chris.
you.
Mr. Dennison, I just looked up last year's resolution.
Brittany, I already beat you.
Okay.
It's like she's getting the big bucks.
I know, right?
What do you say?
Share with all.
Oh, sorry, it says that there's a whereas, which, just whereas. She was appointed to the position of clerk of the legislature for the year 2022. Now therefore be it resolved, she's appointed as clerk of the legislative board. Further resolve the salary and resolve that the resolution takes effect immediately. So I guess if you want to argue the semantics, the whereas isn't a binding thing, but it does say that the legislature wishes to reappoint her to the position of clerk of the board for the year 2022. So
without us having a time frame in here,
Time we put
that means she stays until we remove her, right? Until somebody,
appoint her successor.
yeah, okay, exactly.
I
So
guess
you're here
that's the
forever.
Pleasure of a legislature.
Essentially,
Congratulations, Sheila. Anybody that has worked with Sheila, I've been working with Sheila for over 20 years. And we couldn't have a better person. I think we all know that. Anytime that anybody wants anything, Sheila's there. And the best thing about Sheila is she appointed Amanda. And let me tell you, we have two great legislative clerks, and I don't think anybody in this county or the state can find anybody better. So congratulations to both. Thank you. Okay, Ledge 3, appointing Grace Blowers as the Director of Finance.
I'll move it.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed. Grace, you just want to stand up and so everybody, some people probably don't even know you, but congratulations. I asked Grace earlier if she wanted to say something and her face got off.
No, I want to thank everybody for this opportunity. For those of you who don't know me, I've been working for the county for the last 22 and a half years as the Director of Administrative Services for Social Services, it's a mouthful, responsible for all the fiscal operations for that department. And I just want to say I'm really excited to take on these new responsibilities and challenges and be the Director of Finance. So thank you.
Good. There's a committee and that looked, interviewed several people, and this committee chose Grace, and I'm very glad that they did. I know Aileen was on it. I believe Hans was on it as far as legislative representatives. Then Lynn wasn't on it. Shireen was on it. And who else we got? John Shelmuck and somebody else. Diane. Thank you. So they did several interviews and person, and as we all know who they picked. So congratulations, Grace.
Thank you.
All right, just a few words because I know everybody wants to go and celebrate their new foundings. I just want to thank my fellow legislators for having faith in me and trusting me and electing me to this position again. There's been some up and downs this year. We all know that. There is every year. But I think as a group, I think we come together when we need to. We have different feelings. We have different thoughts sometimes, but that's what makes America great, because we can dispute, we can argue, and we can, negotiate. And I think that's what makes this country better than any other country. So I want to thank you again for all your support, and I appreciate it. I want to thank certainly the families that are here to support the ones that just got elected again. We all know an election, especially a county election, is never easy. So you have to run through not just a district, through the whole county. So congratulations, Brian. Congratulations, Brett. And Adam too. He's not here, but congratulations to all three. I guess that's it for me. I don't want to talk too long because we want to go out and celebrate, I would hope. Any unfinished business that will come before the board? If not, any of you would like to say anything about anything? You got a few minutes to say something if you'd like. Anybody? Nothing? Everybody's happy? Chris?
Motion to adjourn?
We got it. I got it. Saying something. All in favor? Aye. I'll adjourn. Thank you.
I was calling the question.
Okay.